Woo!
All right. Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown along with Ryan Graham
Hello.
and Tim Thurber.
Hi.
And this is State of Atlanta.
Oh shoot! I didn't have a new beer ready.
I was mid little spiel before I remembered that I didn't have my beer ready.
Well, now I'm double fisting. So
Yeah, so Ryan, you'll see I'm actually drinking the beer that maybe you can't, a little stupid background beer that Tim brought here the last time we recorded it at the studio.
oh man, that feels like such a long time ago now.
Well,
It does.
I think it was yesterday or maybe it was Sunday. I messaged him. I said, "Hey man, I'm just gonna drink this beer you left here because it's gonna go bad. Might as well one of us drink it before it does." And he's like, well, "What about Ryan's PBR?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he can wait for that stuff. I mean, piss beer just stays piss beer. It's not gonna get any worse or better. Maybe get better."
You drink so much piss beer, like it blows my mind that you feel like you can say things like that.
Of course, I can say things like
You
that.
drink Bud Light on the reg. You pay for Bud Light.
No. I pay for Miller Lite.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, exact same thing actually.
It only tastes a little bit different. You know, it depends on what you eat.
Yeah.
If this tastes a
I
little bit
think
different,
PBR's PBR's got a little bit more flavor to it.
a little more asparagus in the PBR. You know, more pineapple in the Miller Lite. You know. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. More water in the Miller Lite. Yeah.
That's of course.
I like Coors Light.
Of course you would. Of course you would. So anyhow, this is episode 40, guys. Episode 40.
Whoa.
Woo!
We're like big time.
We're entering middle age status here.
Is that how that works?
Well, the thing is, this is the 11th episode we've done during this whole pandemic lockdown, which means
Wow.
we've done after this, we'll have done over a quarter of the show has been done during a lockdown. Which
I
just
don't
doesn't sound
I don't
right.
like that. I like that.
I don't care for it either myself, but that's the way
Yeah.
it crumbles. So I guess we'll make the best of it. But how was y'all's week? Good time?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wild and crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, I gotta give a shout out to Ryan for coordinating some technology things, right? For the Libertarian Convention, right?
Yeah. We made history this weekend. We did the very first online nomination of a national, presidential candidate. So that was fun.
Call me impressed. I'm impressed,
Right.
Ryan. Congrats.
Friday, a lot of the night, and then Saturday and Sunday, all day pretty much. So
Was that the
we
one
did
with
it.
John Stossel on there?
Well, John Stossel did our debate on Thursday, and he was amazing. He just he was so abrasive. It was awesome.
Well, that's because John Stossel's pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of John.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
He was great.
nice.
I just realized I did not have to actually tweet out to anybody that we're doing this right now. So I'm trying to get that going.
Oops.
Yeah, all the debates before that were like a lot of softballs, and Stossel just kind of went hard fast,
Head first. Let's talk about issues. Go.
Well, and he challenged him on that. Like, it was like, Stossel knows the answer to this, but he wants to make sure these guys know the answer to it. So he was
I like
good.
it.
He was
I
not
like
easy
John
on it.
Stossel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. All right, so I think we're
That's as political as I'll get.
I think that's a good
So-
amount.
Until last call. But Tim brought it up. I got to say, Tim brought it up.
probably
I want to give you props. I think that was
No, I
a good
appreciate it.
accomplishment.
appreciate
I
it,
mean,
man. My brain is like melted right now.
it's probably continue to be melted. That was a lot to do in 2 weeks, if that.
Also, dealing with like parliamentary business, like motions and privilege. I'm trying to keep this PG, man.
Well, maybe we should move on. How was your week, Tim? What did you do?
That was pretty good. Cam and I went to a friend's house to socially distanced Memorial Day barbecue-ish thing. Really, it was just barbecue from Woods Chapel. I must say it was good, but I must say it was expensive.
It's so expensive.
Hey, speaking of Summerhill, I saw something when I was looking at stuff today. Just recently, Summerhill Twitter account posted out that Pete's hot dogs are going to be opening soon.
They're all set up. I walked by with Izzy like 2 or 3 days ago, and they have everything. It's like beautiful in there. They're hiring, so I don't know if they have a full staff yet, but it's a nice little setup.
I'm not a big hot dog fan. I I'm really not like it's. I feel obligatory
That doesn't.
when I'm
That's
at the stadium. But
doesn't make any sense.
they said that it's going to be hot dogs cooked over charcoal and then served on a brioche bun. And I'm like, all right, you have my attention. I am listening now. This is not a Oscar Mayer hot dog on a bun that's too small for it. So
But there's a place up on Windy Hill Road that did charcoal hot dogs. I did not know that this Pete's whatever this hot dog Pete's was that. It's delicious. It is awesome. So I'm excited now that you say that to know.
yeah, I was actually thinking maybe we could do a new segment where it's just like Ryan eats Summerhill, and you could just, since you like eating on camera,
Is she cute?
since you eating, save it for last call, big guy. Since you
All right.
like eating on camera so much, maybe you could just bring your dinner from a different establishment every week. And
Oh my. Jesus.
I know that.
No, I got text about this too, just so everyone knows who's listening.
Yeah, so I think everyone watches every episode and listens to every episode. Yeah, Ryan was eating during our first interview segment.
I was well muted, wasn't I?
Yeah, but the camera still saw you eating your macaroni and cheese. Max is over wondering if you're putting hot sauce on it or not.
She didn't even. Yeah, right. I engaged our fans.
Yeah. Hands off, big guy. All right. Anyhow.
I doubt very much that there's any interest there.
Well, thanks for asking, guys. My weekend was great as well.
Oh, David, we didn't ask.
Yeah, no, actually, I'm going to tell you anyways, because I was home with the kids all 3 days. Lonesome dad, dude. It was, I am very happy to be here right now is all I can say.
You made it back.
I made it back. I survived. Yeah. So anyhow, let's go get started. Actually, a somber note to get started this week, but I want to go ahead and address it. A couple of deaths in the Panther family this week. I didn't realize it was actually 2 until I started preparing for this today. But we found out over the weekend that Gerald Howes, a former football player, passed away. I think he was a current coach at Tennessee Tech, which is and up on the rise from everything we say. He was 28 years old. Definitely accomplished more at 28 than I have yet now. And so it's very sad. No details out or anything, but that doesn't matter. It's sad situation for him. So condolences to his family, friends, everyone he had a part of their life. And then also Dave Kaplan, the first director of football operations for Georgia State, passed away late last week, I believe. So condolences again, friends, family, everyone he was a part of. So yeah, on to, and I guess, well, happier, but everything's happier than that. Anyhow, when will sports return? You guys have the inside track?
No, I heard you guys saying some stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna know as little as possible so I can react.
All right, Tim, what you got? You got the inside track?
No, definitely don't. But hopefully this fall. That's all I'm sticking with. I don't want to hear anything else.
Well, since our last episode, there was a vote by the NCAA Division I to allow voluntary practices to start for both football and basketball starting June 1st. It's like what, just like 5 days from now?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, it's happening. We're starting. We're getting in there. So
Have you heard anything about Georgia State doing it? It's voluntary, right? So are we?
Well, if you follow Panther Talk, there's already been players at the stadium that have been out there doing some individual things on their own.
I could have sworn I heard the band tonight. I was grilling earlier, and I could have sworn I heard the band practicing.
Oh, those are the Falcons pumping in music to their stadium.
Yeah, they're practicing.
I mean, it was a marching band for sure. I mean, that was the sounds I thought I heard. So.
I mean, it very well could be. I have no idea. It could be
Maybe they're all socially distanced. They're going to do
Right.
the marching 6 feet away from each other.
Well, all their water
weird.
coming out of their bodies are going through horns and stuff. It's getting filtered out. Maybe they have filters on their instruments.
Maybe you put a mask on the end of the tuba. You know?
The head.
Panther
Yeah.
head mask. Speaking of that, you guys see the Panther head masks on Facebook popping up?
No,
I did see those. Yeah, look pretty good.
The Panther Pride Facebook page just had a few people. Someone's making them. Someone's selling them. They're getting out there. They look nice. It's like embroidered, and it's not like just some kind of like stamped on thing. It looks nice.
you should post a link, man.
It's not Push Up Panther.
I mean, that's not Push Up Panther, but it does have the word mark. It's not just the Panther head. No, I don't.
Yeah.
have one. I didn't do any of that. So, but no, I haven't heard anything about Georgia State. Texas State's football coach, when it was in an interview, and he was talking about that the Sun Belt schools have come to an agreement that they're probably going to start differently. Like some schools are going to get things going before others. He was obviously he was being vague about it, but there's like an understanding that like Texas is opening at a different rate than Louisiana is, because Texas has had fewer cases, and Louisiana. I mean, in Louisiana, can you tell if it's even COVID-19 or just Louisiana?
Nope.
Yeah.
Can you develop antibodies?
We don't know, but
Can you get antibodies for Louisiana? Like, is there a way to keep that out of your system at all, or just you got to stay?
I don't think so.
I think not visiting is the first step. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's your social. I've been trying to socially distance Louisiana majority of my life. I've had a few setbacks, but no, he said the Texas State head coach said that they're going to start with in June groups of 10 or less, and then in July 50 or less. Which really that's like the team, right? I mean, I guess if you break the offense and the defense into separates with their coaches and everything, you get, like, there's your 50. But then July 27th is a 6-week return to play protocol, which would put them ready to start the season as regularly scheduled on first week of September, Labor Day weekend. So they're on track, which they need to be, because Texas State was, I mean, they beat us, but they were hot garbage last season, right?
Let's not bring that up. I want to bring up us losing to them. But yeah, they were hard garbage.
Bring up any opponent. We should always talk about how bad they are, right?
Never.
Even
Never.
when we lose.
Except for Tennessee. They sucked.
Yeah, they're terrible.
It's a solid program. I mean, if you can beat them, then you're a top-notch program right there. But no, they said one of the things he said was that there was a contingency plan to get started in October. Or even eliminate non-conference games from the very beginning that they had talked about. So that's, I guess, probably still out there. He also said that all the conferences submitted their proposals when this all started happening, and pretty much every conference was kind of on the same page with some slight variations. He didn't give any details, but.
So we know that they agree, but we don't know what they agree on?
I think what we know is that they're kind of like on the same page.
So they agree, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a big difference. Like, we'll do this if this happens, but, I don't know. It's vague. We're trying to extrapolate something from it. I think the interesting thing, what he said, was there was a plan to phasing plan for spectators. So maybe we'll start off with no fans or select fans, and then kind of as the season goes on, as things get better, start allowing more and more fans in the stands. But
well, the good news is I would think that season ticket holders probably would hold priority.
Right.
Well, you'd have to. Yeah. I mean, the only exception to that would maybe be family members of the players or the band or something.
Sure.
But I've kind of thought about this quite a bit over the past couple hours that I was preparing my notes for this. And my prediction is fans and stands. I think it's going to be open. I think it's going to be fully open. Maybe not every school, but for Georgia State, I think it's going to be open.
Yeah, that we just don't have enough fans, and we have enough space.
Well, I think because the AD for Georgia came out and said that their plan is to have fans in the stands game one, and maybe not everybody, but I think kind of the same thing. I think every school is going to approach this differently, and I think we're going to see them in there. And maybe if you don't feel comfortable or you're a health risk for you to be some of our older fans and everything, that you can defer your tickets to next year, and that's fine. I think other schools probably do the same thing and resell them for this year, another chance to make double dip a little bit. Maybe they require masks or some other kind of stuff. But I think we're going to be in the stands this season.
Are you
right?
Would you guys go if it's game on and you can go?
Tim, I'll let you answer that one first.
Yeah, no, I definitely go. Talking about just like challenges with number of fans and all that, I think every SBC school could reorient their fans across their stadium with season ticket holders and family of the players and have plenty of space left, and no away fans except for maybe family members of the away team, right? And I think it's much more challenging for obviously the P5 conferences in Georgia that fills their entire stadium up, and there are super limited amounts of season ticket holder seats available. But I think for the Sun Belt, even if it's like restrictive, I think we could easily spread out all of our season tickets across the stadium and all the other people, the family and the away team's family.
We could open the upper deck. I mean,
we could if we need to. Yeah.
Well, I think that you touched on something that I had not thought of yet, Tim. But as far as the away team tickets, I think we should give them an entire closed-in section. Maybe even put some some plexiglass around an entire box area so they can all be in there together, coughing and sneezing on each other.
Yeah, make it as enclosed as possible.
And so then
I did not say that.
We can recirculate the air.
This is my idea. Yeah. And
Jesus.
On there, and if there's one person that has it, then it gets spread amongst all the fans, and then those that go back to their campuses can spread it back around and create a new little hotspot over there. Maybe infect their players, and maybe we can get a conference title based on default. Like every team has to just forfeit the rest of their games.
See, this sounds like what I said you would say when I said it a couple weeks ago. I don't know where you've been, David, but you're back.
We should give our suites all to the opposing team fans for the entire season.
No air.
Yeah, exactly. Put everything. No air. Crank up the
doors open.
They gotta have AC going though, right? Then they say this thing doesn't spread well during humid climate. So yeah, we need to have some cold AC pumping through there. Yeah. No. Yeah, this is a good idea. This is a strategy.
No, I'm not going to be a part of this conversation. That's why I'm being quiet.
Everybody's got to do their part. I think this is our part of winning, is sabotaging the opposing team. All right, I guess I'm alone on this one.
Anyway, David, what do you think about seating?
Well, for Georgia State, I just say open the doors. Let people decide what they want to do. If season ticket holders don't want to go to games, fine. Let them apply their money towards next season. But for anybody else that wants to go, I say let them go. Encourage masks, just to say it, encourage people to, hey, your seats may be here, but it's right next to somebody else. Go take the empty seat that's, a row over or whatever. We have that flexibility. We're way different, obviously. Maybe the only good time that our stadium's not full on a regular basis, which means we'll go undefeated and we'll be playing we'll finally have people coming to the games that, now have to worry about. I think that'll happen.
If 100% of all of our fans who show up to most games show up to these games, you can still socially distance. And then there's going to be, like you said, the people who are just like, well, I'm not going to take that risk. So you're already going to see reduced crowds.
Right. Well, so my biggest concern about all of this is, for some reason, I'm just afraid of them getting really weird about tailgating. And that's the thing they'll come harsh down on. No, we're not gonna allow any tailgating. Gates open 1 hour before kickoff, park, get in the stadium.
You guys come tailgate at my house.
That's what I thought. We have a tailgate spot no matter what, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll open it. We'll put it on all of the state of Atlanta pages, on all of social media. So
all 10 of us will come to my house. Yeah.
Well, honestly though, this would be a great time to hit up the Somerville places, right?
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely. Pizza's been open for a while. You have to order it. It's open at odd times though. It's 5:30 to 9 or something, and only on 4 days a week or something. But if you guys put your order in early, I'll stick it in my fridge.
No, so one thing I think they should do this season to minimize the chance of spreading anything inside the stadium, I may have mentioned this before, they need to allow people to bring their own food and drinks. You can bring one cooler in per person, certain size, have your little, go down to Hartsfield, grab those little baggage measuring things. You can have a cooler this size to fit inside of your seat, under your feet, and you can bring your sandwiches, your food, your booze, whatever you want, your booze and your more booze and your cocktails and your mixers and everything.
I mean, you're kind of talking about just the way that Turner Field was, right? You could bring a little picnic in, couldn't you? I mean, you couldn't bring booze, yeah. I don't think.
I don't think you could bring booze, but yeah, you could
bring lunch, I think.
You could bring subs and everything.
Yeah.
Snacks. Mm-hmm. I've done it.
If the idea of doing this is to prevent any kind of interaction of concession stands and reducing interaction between individuals, then you got to do as well. All right, yeah, great. I can bring in a sandwich, then I'm going to go buy my beer. No, they need to let everybody bring in everything they want. I think that'd be a fun experience in the stands.
Yeah, but they need to make money. Maybe they'll just charge at the door like a cork fee or something. Like if you're bringing booze in, you got to pay extra.
If they were concerned about making money off concessions, they would have more people taking concessions, and there wouldn't be lines taking an entire quarter of a football game to get a beer. They're obviously not concerned about that. They're not making any money on it anyways.
You sound like Panthersville.
You can still sell the beer.
I've never had a problem getting a beer up in the club level. It was easy.
Never.
I mean,
yeah.
Mine was never too bad. It was the food that was the issue trying to get whenever I was trying to get anything. But
last season was worse than a lot of. I mean, getting it was fine, but the service levels were low, even though the lines were like fixed.
Well,
right.
Guys, 4 of the 6 home games last season, I just weaseled my way into boxes, and they've got food and booze there without a problem. So.
It's free.
We just need to figure out this sweet thing again and execute. We just need like athletics to understand that they should take the money no matter what, and like laws be damned.
Well, I think they should see us, as State of Atlanta, as a marketing tool for them, and just grant State of Atlanta a suite.
Yeah. No, I'm in on this. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what we're doing now is worth at least tens of dollars.
Tens of dollars. $19s of dollars.
What do you guys think about? So obviously we could fit all of our season ticket holders in the stadium, plus family members, plus the away team in some kind of box that David's going to contract. Should we sell tickets to casual fans spaced out?
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
We have a specific section. You sell casual fans. This is your seating area. 6 feet apart. Mark the seats off. I mean, you might actually pick up people that are desperate to go watch sports, and they're like, I want to go to this. I want to watch Georgia State and
ECU.
Texas State.
ECU. Yeah, you sell seats, and anything that basically you just mark the seats that people can sit in, essentially.
Right.
And then just like, go to town, and then you're good.
Yeah, you might need to open that upper deck, man. I mean,
and then open the upper deck. I don't know if it's feasible to open it right now. I don't know what the structural integrity is.
There's definitely a call opening the upper deck for just security purposes. Even if you don't have bathrooms open and concessions open and things like that, you're gonna have a security presence. Got to be there. I've got no idea if there's any kind of like city regulation or fire marshal type thing about whether or not they're allowed people in there.
That's what I remember hearing when we first opened, was there were some fire code issues up there, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just close it," because they had just like let the fire, the sprinklers like rust out and all kinds of crap. Like the stadium was garbage when they gave it to us. I mean, when we bought it.
Well, yeah. Well, I think there was a definite time period from when it was before the Braves were done, and it was handed over to Georgia State, where literally nothing was done. And like the story just say like an unlived in house, whether you do any maintenance or not, an unlived in house diminishes faster than a lived in house, just because movement of air and humidity, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it went to kind of crap that way. And apparently we reached the life end of that video board as well in those like 7 or 8 months waiting for the holdover, because that thing fell apart quickly.
Yep.
That's why the Braves moved, and they couldn't afford a new video board.
I mean, I think that the stadium needed just so much work, and the city of Atlanta wasn't willing to pay for it.
And the Braves obviously didn't care, right? I mean,
I think I saw somewhere, and I also want to clarify that whenever I say I think I saw somewhere, that could be that I made that up in my head altogether. But I think I saw somewhere that just keeping the structure upright every year, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, is about $1 million to $2 million a year, just to keep the thing stable and everything.
Right.
Any kind of erosion or things that have happened to it. So that's a big expense.
Well, there is the massive flooding, definitely, at Turner Field.
And when you don't do anything for whatever the 8 months was or something like that, that's a big thing going on. So.
Yeah. It probably helps that there's turf now. They could probably install lots of different like drainage fixes and things like that in a way that like you can't really do in a actual grass field.
The state lived in now. I mean, we have athletics offices are there. The players locker rooms are there. The coaches are there, and it's not just football. I think I don't know if baseball's in there or not yet, but that's supposed to be going in there. So the stadium's fine, but I just don't know if that upper deck is available for them just to flip the switch and put people in there. But even then, there are so many seats out there that you could tag as available for people.
We have so much space, even without the upper deck. We're fine.
Didn't they do upper deck for Foo Fighters or no? I don't remember.
They did. They did.
They did? Okay. Yeah.
But, just basically sell it. Everybody that has their season tickets, that's fine. General admission gets you anywhere in the stadium, and that'd be fine. Because people are not going to sit right. If they're going to come into a section that's like 20 to 30% full, they're not going to go sit right on someone else's lap in the middle of all this kind of stuff. No, they're going to find whether we were socially or not, they're going to find a seat where they're not harassing everybody else and everything. And then there'll be that
mark the seats that people can sit in, And
then
there's a box on the other side. It's the like the smoking chambers from the airport where all the away fans are locked in there contracting the virus. Maybe we should have our own everybody can tailgate and pregame together, but then once the away fans leave, there's a hamster tunnel leading out of the stadium so they can take their little diseases back to wherever they came from.
Maybe. Would Ryan be sitting on Summerhill? Summerhill is there? I don't know. He might be sitting on Summerhill. Top. Yeah.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Wow. Well, backwards of the Summerhill joke. Eating out Summerhill.
Yeah.
Cute. Maybe.
Hey, after enough drinks, who's not, right?
That's true.
Actually, you have made fun of me for making out with some of your friends, so.
Hey, I didn't. Well, yes, I did. I did do that. My 21st birthday, my favorite birthday card I got was from my crazy aunt, because everyone's got a crazy aunt.
I did not make out with his crazy aunt. It feels a lot like you're about to tell that story. That didn't happen.
Even if your parents have no siblings, everyone has that crazy aunt. It's the crazy, the parent's crazy friend or something like that. And crazy aunt Nancy sends me a birthday card, and it's just it was Photoshop, but it was a very old, heavily make-upped woman, and made to look as bad as she could. And it's take this card out with you when you go out for your 21st birthday. When she looks attractive, come home.
Oh,
that's terrible.
Yeah, I got it.
But let's see, what else we got about
that was terrible, David.
Ooh.
Well,
next topic, please.
Not drank enough. ESPN had an article out. I mean, ESPN, they're stretching. They have no idea what to do right now. They've got no content whatsoever at all. So they're trying, and they posted an article saying that the universities or NCAA could lose $4 billion if there was no college football season. And so they're trying to establish how important it is to have this football season because of all the universities losing this money. What they don't mention is if the university is losing this money, then ESPN is losing this money. And that's what their push is. That's why ESPN is trying to find ways to scare people into wanting to get football and sports going back again, is because they need their revenue.
And that $4 billion is literally paid by ESPN to those universities so that they can make even more money on ad revenue.
And I read somewhere ESPN's not doing so hot themselves. So,
well, yeah, because they're just doing the Ocho all day, every day,
which is awesome. That needs that. If we can get the few little nuggets of positivity that can come out of this whole deal, one of those is I want the Ocho to remain. Just create the Ocho. Just finally do it. Create the Ocho channel. I will still watch Electrician.
Get rid of one of the other ones. You got a lot of ESPNs. Get rid of one of your ESPNs and do the Ocho.
Find out. We can have as many as we want to. That's all good.
I feel like the Ocho could, if they don't want to get its own channel, at least late night, instead of replaying a bunch of garbage, make it Comedy Central, or not Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, where they have the Adult Swim. That's where the Ocho comes in.
Well, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, but the networks used to do Friday night videos on Friday night after the talk shows were over and everything, and ABC or NBC or something like that would just do videos all night long. It was Friday night videos. It was their like after hours programming, or USA's up all night.
What kind of videos? What do you mean by videos?
Music videos. Back before there was like
Oh, yeah, all right.
MTV was around.
Hmm.
Like, I was when MTV was the only source, and now
Yeah, yeah.
last place you can get music videos. But yeah,
And did the article talk about how much they lost with no NCAA tournament, or no?
I really
Didn't read all of it.
read all
Alright.
the article. I just kind of thought it was funny. But I remember we talked about it before, and like there was like at the time that everything was canceled, I remember reading something somewhere that like that March Madness is like the big money maker for the NCAA. Like it's more money than what college football brings in. It was like some like big chunk of change for it. So if you lose that, plus you lose
Plus,
that's a scare tactic. We already know that we're not losing college football. College football is going to get played. It's going to be played
Yeah.
some way. Maybe not all.
right.
Maybe not all the conferences. Maybe not all at the same time. Which I think would be kind of cool. They're talking like the West Coast teams like, well, we can't start playing in the fall. We may do spring. So if you do
Right.
West Coast spring, and then like the rest of the world actually matters in the fall or late fall. So when do you have your championship game? You just exclude all of the West Coast teams, and then maybe make the Rose Bowl be like a consolation prize or something.
You could do something like that.
You go play your Rose Bowl game out there in the West, guys. Have fun.
West Coast offense.
I do remember the article saying something like either start the play on time, start it delayed, or start it in the spring. It just has to happen. Like make it happen somehow.
Well, one thing I've seen somewhere, and I'm confident it's going to happen, is, and because the Texas State head coach said as much, not every team, not every state, not every conference is going to be operating under the same rules. Some schools are going to start right there Labor Day weekend, and they're going to play their regular schedule set of games. And there's other schools that are not going to do it. They're not going to get started until after we don't technically have all of our out of conference front heavy, or like the first 4 weeks. I think we have the third week or something like that. But a lot of schools don't play a conference game until after the first 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. And so maybe they just abandon their out of conference and start their conference games. That's all they do. Piecemeal here and there. Maybe some teams only play 6 games or something. I don't know. But I think it's going to be a mixed bag. I have no idea what they're going to do with the playoffs. I mean,
yeah, I don't.
I guess
Put them in the spring, maybe. I
mean, it's a committee to pick it anyways. So it's like, yeah, we'll just pick the 4 teams that we like the best anyways. So
yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm pretty comfortable going to a Georgia State game. Going to a UGA game, depending on how they do their seating, I don't know if I'd be comfortable going there, to be honest.
I got to figure there's enough alcohol coursing through the veins of those people in the stand. There's probably no virus that can survive all of that.
I mean, it's probably triple. Like.
What you need to do is get Terrapin or Creature Comfort, like, because all these breweries are doing like hand sanitizer. Like,
Oh yeah.
everything. Just have them come up with a craft beer called like the Ugga Deluxe or something or whatever, and like this beer that's nothing more than hand sanitizer. Starts chugging the hand sanitizer, cleans up their system in and out, and then you go into the game, you're fine to go, right?
That's how it works, I think.
Yeah, I'm a scientist
Yeah.
because I said so.
I do. So thinking about our games, like I know the G5 schools need that money game. I mean, I hate for us not to have it because that's $1 million we would like to have, right?
Everything's
I
so
I know. I mean,
Can you even talk about the money games mattering anymore? Of course they matter. We want that money, but does it, like, if Bama says, all right, we're not going to pay you, but you can still come play us, we still go play them, right?
I don't know.
probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we would. Why would we do that?
Maybe it's less money, but they'd have to pay something to get the win. I mean, loss. Duh, we're gonna win. This is the year, right?
Because we're infecting all their players as well.
Oh boy.
I'm looking at that.
Moving along. Next
David's
topic.
like out to get folks.
But one thing is kind of interesting that one of my notes I put down here is if we do have everybody starting on different schedules and like some kind of weird season, which it's gonna be a weird season, there could be a chance we actually have some G5 teams making it up the ranks, getting into top 25, top 10, something like that.
If there's so many fewer teams, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you're West Coast teams and even your bigs aren't playing, I guess the bigs they're kind of in states for the most part that are pretty good there, right? But yeah, if your West Coast teams aren't playing, maybe there's some empty spots in the top 25, top 20, top 15. Maybe see for the first time ever a number of G5 teams, considering outside the MAC, most of the G5s are MAC and Mountain West. Most of the G5s are in the Southeast, that area that doesn't contract diseases.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see that.
Louisiana is the lone exception.
Yeah, I know, but
Right.
you have like LSU might not be able to play because Louisiana's been a hot spot.
Exactly.
And so yeah. But that opens up the spot for number 26. And then there's probably more than just them. And that opens up for 27, 28, 29, 30.
App State, or is it the AAC schools, App State, and then everybody else gets their spot in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If App State even has football by then, they're dropping sports left and right.
Well, it'll be Georgia State first because we're.
But they got a NASCAR car.
Yeah, I have that.
No sports, but they got a car.
Exactly. They do have a car.
No, guys. Who cares?
Even know what we're talking about, Ryan?
Did they put NASCAR on the Ocho? Is that what that is?
No, that's on
No.
Fox proper. And by the way, I just want to put on record with some of my Falcons friends for the past 2 Sunday NASCAR races. Because there's no NFL going on, we've actually put some money on different racers, and I won week 2. I had picked Jimmy Johnson, who came in second, I think, but nobody picked whoever the hell came in first. So
the guy's name is Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Can we crack jokes about that? Or is that a last call thing?
Last call.
Not like he's the only Jimmy Johnson that's in sports.
His first name and last name is Richard.
Yeah, well.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure that he's never heard that his entire life.
I'm just trying to keep it PG. But,
Yeah.
Come on, man. Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, keep that one.
Mhm.
Well, actually, no, you know what?
Yeah.
Just go in
You
and
know, open a sausage company? I mean, what?
or dance.
Who's
You do a dance club too.
who's driving the App State car? Do you know?
It was one of the Bush brothers, Kyle or Kurt.
Wait. We got Jimmy Johnson and the Bush brothers?
NASCAR, man.
The
NASCAR.
sport. What is
I'm
this?
gonna give you credit. I did not like the path you were taking us, but that was actually a quality joke right there. That was fun.
I should watch.
I try. It's not that great. But yeah, so App State, but it was they had. Do you even know what we're talking about, Ryan, at all?
No, what are you talking about racing? I mean, who cares?
Well, no, I think it's kind of interesting because I had no idea about this until I woke up this morning and started looking at the Twitter. One of those Bush brothers was racing. There's a race. They had a race on Sunday, and then another race today. You're telling me that you can't play football day to day, but you can drive a car twice in a week? That's crazy.
That's nuts.
But anyhow, one of the Bush brothers was in a race on Monday, and the entire car was decked out, painted in App State for the 2020 senior class of App State. By the way, that started school in 2012. So
I wonder how that made the teams of the sports that were canceled feel that they had the money for that but not for their sport.
Well, that's a social media take. That's a social media take on it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
The fact is, App State paid $0 for that. Joe Gibbs, who is make fun of his name, Joe Gibbs, who is the owner of the racing team. Excuse me, his son's backup quarterback at App State, and they've had ties to the school for years. So it was
backup quarterback, and he got a NASCAR.
It was a sponsor. It was a sponsorship that made the whole thing work. So the school paid nothing, but you tapped right on what the social media responses were on Twitter. Why can they afford this and then can't afford to have men's indoor track and field?
Well, somebody paid for it, and if they really cared, maybe they would have paid for indoor track and field.
Track and field, right?
If you're getting rid of track and field in Boone, North Carolina, get rid of the outdoor version. Like, it's
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
cold.
I don't want to run. I don't want to all the hills in that cold weather. No,
Yeah, can you imagine cross country in Boone? Good God.
the elevation is 2,500 feet.
Yeah, that sounds miserable.
Yeah. What sports did they get rid of, David? I didn't read all of them.
All right, I have it somewhere here.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I got it somewhere. App State, they got rid of men's soccer, men's tennis, men's indoor track and field. No women's sports because,
Laws.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they,
Soccer?
yeah,
You got
that,
rid of soccer?
soccer. So I think that I read somewhere. I can't say it all the time. I think that the Sun Belt, which did not all teams in the Sun Belt sponsored soccer. Like they had
Yeah.
like Howard's an affiliate member for soccer and other schools.
Well, it's like South Carolina is in our conference, right? For soccer only?
I think Sun Belt proper is only down to 5 teams in men's soccer now with App State out. So that's a an issue for that program. I think
It seems like that'd be on the cusp of being a revenue sport, though. It's cheap to play and like people are vaguely interested.
Vaguely interested. Yeah,
I mean,
men's soccer sucks though. Women's soccer is so much more fun to watch.
I agree. No, I totally agree. I think women's soccer is way better than men's soccer.
Yeah, not as much as like wusses like falling over left and right. Like my daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter will one of my daughters fall over and start screaming. I'm like, she has a career in men's soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
Give her a red card.
There's like no flopping, and then they don't do all the chaotic crap that like the men's soccer. They'll just like kick the ball as hard as they can to the other side of the field, and they just kick it to the other team. And the women's team will kick it to their teammate because it's more important to control the ball.
And the wildest and craziest reaction that a female player will have in a goal is to rip her shirt off. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to complain about that at all.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they're up and they continue to play. It's great. So I put the shirt back on them.
Shirtless, right?
I wish. Yeah. It should be a strict rule. Every garment of clothing you lose, you got to stay like that for the rest of the match.
So is App State the first team to drop sports in the Sun Belt? Is that true? I think so.
You should ask. From what I've read, yeah.
Okay, that's probably gonna be something we're going to talk about weekly. So I mean, it's probably going to happen.
I feel like also, and I have no idea. I think that Georgia State only has 16 total sports, which is the bare minimum that be Division I. We may have 17. I'm not sure. When I'm looking to my right over here, by the way, I'm looking at the Facebook comment feed to find out if John has told me anything.
John, can you correct us?
No, but I think you're right. I think we are like right on. Yeah. So the Sun Belt has the Boobas Cup or whatever it is. Boobas.
Bubba's.
I think there's only 2 B's in it. It's Boobas or Bua.
Boobas. Yeah, the Boobas Cup. But it's basically like whoever does the best in all sports for any given like calendar year, and we have no chance because we literally just don't play enough sports. Like the people who win it play all the sports.
We'd have to win like every championships in every Sun Belt sport to even have a chance to come away with Boobas Cup, and I don't even know if that would even win it for us. That is a thread that always pops up on the Sun Belt board that I take a look at, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay.
It's interesting to go look at, and we do actually we're pretty good. Like in the sports that we compete in, we're solid.
Yeah, our Olympic sports we're not well. Men's tennis has really struggled, I think. But outside of that, we actually do a pretty good job as far as being above average or above middle of the pack and everything. So we don't do too horrible. It's just we don't compete in all the sports, and I think that App State was one of those schools because they were irrelevant for so long in the world. They just had as many sports they possibly could to get people to show up to come to their school. They had to like literally give scholarships to people to even like have anyone come to the college. Like
I'm really excited to go to Boone someday. I have not gone yet, but
I've been to Boone, but not to App State. I went there to go skiing on artificial snow mountains.
Yeah, all right, cool. Was it fun? I mean,
Yeah, I was drinking and skiing, so it wasn't horrible. But then
Yeah,
again,
so make a long weekend out of it. It was pouring down snow that one game we did like 3 timeouts in a row. We could have just gone skiing instead.
for so long, our basketball games at Boone were like right around like mid-January because the beginning of conference play begins like I guess the end of December or something like that. And my wife's birthday is right around is mid-January, right around MLK holidays. I'm like, oh, let's take a 3-day weekend up to Boone and we can go skiing and catch a men's basketball game while we're at it. And yeah, that always got shot.
She sniffs that out. She's like,
What? That's
no.
an awesome plan.
Yeah.
I want to go up to a football game once we have a good shot of winning. I don't just want to go up there to go to a game. I want it to be a competitive game.
Yeah, I want it to mean something.
Right.
Well, we're up there this year, and they've got a new head coach. So
We'll see.
yeah,
They might not even let visitors in the game, though. This will be the year that we all want to be there, and they won't let us.
yeah. That's the kind of crappy fan that I am. Is I never want to be in an away game. I don't never want.
I like some of the away games I've been to.
No, I mean, I have the time and I enjoy them, but just not even Georgia State. Just as being a fan of Atlanta teams, I always leave with a loss. So it's always.
I do. But Georgia State does pretty well at away. Our away record is pretty solid. I'm not going to go through and look at it, but I feel like we win a lot more games away
I
than.
think you'd be correct if you said our away performance is better. I don't know about our record away.
Oh yeah, I mean our performance in general, though. Yeah.
We play really well away, but we don't necessarily win a lot of games away. We don't win a lot of games in general.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I go to the money games just because it's usually in a fun place.
Yeah.
It's like a 2% chance of winning. But, before the Tennessee game, I said, I don't know, we could win today. You never know. This is why you come play these games.
Right.
You could win, and it happened.
Yeah, but you go to 1,000 of those games to get that one win. And, I mean, granted, after you've been to 1,000 of them, that one makes them all worth it. But if you've not gotten that one yet, then it makes it so much harder all the time to go.
I mean, I went to Tennessee before, and I was basically like, Neyland is a dumpster fire stadium. It sucks, man. It is terrible.
It's an upgraded dumpster fire now.
Garbage.
It's an upgraded dumpster fire.
Oh, cool. And then they put that garbage color, like orange, puke orange, all over everything.
It is a vile color orange.
It's all checkerboard. It's all checkered orange. It's worse. They found a way to make the color even worse.
It's like a Pedialyte orange. It's like they know that everyone's hungover like the next day and needs to drink Pedialyte or something.
It looks chalky.
So it's like a subliminal advertisement on the field.
Yeah. John Weaver's letting us know that Neyland was cavernous. I agree. But I think that's part of the thing about college football that's different for Georgia State fans versus like old school college football. And I read this somewhere on when the Summit Board went that is the new school. So Sunbelt's full of several schools that are new to football. Like we're new to football. South Alabama's new to football. I don't know how long Coastal had it. Whatever. So we're all talking about like, where we are now or our potential, all this kind of stuff. And these other teams want to put so much focus on their history. Like, how storied something is. Like, Tennessee is one of historically the best teams to ever play football. All right, you may have been one of the best teams to play football. Your stadium's a dump. I don't care what kind of history. I don't care how many national championships or big games were played there or players that came from there. Your stadium's a dump.
Yeah, when Georgia State plays in a better stadium than Tennessee, like you need to reevaluate.
No joke. I mean, absolutely. Georgia State Stadium is 10 times the stadium that Neyland Stadium.
Absolutely. Yep.
No doubt.
And not just because we have a nice color shade of blue, but like just a better building.
Or as Brian Gundel told us last week, a very odd shade of blue.
What?
We have a very odd shade of
royal blue.
I guess maybe from a logo perspective is what he's talking. Maybe we should have asked him.
Man, those people are weird. I work with font people a lot, and like it's weird. Like I work for a company that literally we changed the font on our website, and they did a press release. Those people are weird.
Yeah, people that deal in fonts, I feel like are weird. But think about it, like their entire life is looking at one square versus another square. Like that's like the entire thing. And they like, I never thought to put a square there. How did you come up with that? You're a genius.
Yeah.
How does the new font make you feel?
Yeah, no, and they'll talk about like all the different shapes on like N's and Y's and whatever, and like what it means and blah blah. I'm like, guys, nobody cares.
Well, like when
Nobody.
I was doing that GSU ATL logo, the friend of mine that did that for me, I'm sitting next to her at the bar as we're doing everything, and she's doing it up gridded out to get everything to be equal and even and every side. I'm like, oh, what if you like come in like to a half diagonal? Like, no, you can't do that. That's
No.
And I'm like, well, those were the rules you were taught in school, but also there's like, hey, that looked better if. And no, couldn't do it. You got to follow these strict guidelines for everything.
Yeah, dude, you're fired.
Yeah, well.
You're like, hey, I've been drinking, but can you do this?
And she doesn't drink, so the answer was no.
Oh.
So Tim, you asked, I think before we go on a line about the Becker video, I don't know if you talked about it once we started chatting here and everything. Just trying to look at stuff today, came across Becker released a video. I think it was mostly to staff that got posted publicly today. I don't know if it's posted publicly in general, but it was kind of like Georgia State's approach to getting back from an administrative academic perspective. I think we can take a little bit of information about it to figure out what's going on with sports.
Video, can you play it? Are you that technically proficient?
If I could and wanted to bore you guys for 12 minutes in the middle of this thing with Becker and everything.
Yeah, we don't have 12 minutes.
But I don't want to. So we're not going to. Basically saying summer is what summer is. It's online classes, and that's the way it's going to be, obviously. But they are going to have some staff and admin return as summer goes along. And the plan is for fall, which we kind of heard already, was they're going to come back with some online, some in classes. But they're doing what they call blended learning model. So there's some classes where a portion of it will be online and a portion of it will be on campus, specifically things like labs and stuff where you got to need to be there or whatever.
So are all the students going to be like in the dorms and stuff though?
It's funny you should ask that, Ryan. Great setup.
I told you this is why I don't read first. I want I asked the right question.
I've got 24 lines of notes here, and literally the next one was residence halls will be open.
Nice. So I'm excited. I'm personally invested because my little brother is I've told you guys this. He's going to Georgia State next year, and he's going to be at the new one where the QT is, right across from the Commons.
You didn't want him staying in your basement. You're like, get out of my basement, dude. I don't want you staying here anymore.
I don't have a basement, but I did try to get
my basement in a tent in your backyard because you wouldn't even let him stay in the house.
I did try to get him to go to Aspen Heights, but I'm like super psyched because my other kid brother, as I've said, is going to go to where Southern Poly was, and I'm like, both my kid brothers are in Oconee County right now, and they're going to be in Atlanta. So I'm excited.
Shock.
I'm excited.
Yeah, no.
So wait,
I hope they like me as much as I like them.
Is he going to stay in like an official dorm, or is he staying in the student apartments across the street with a gas station?
Well, they're all those are all they're all private, I think, but they're still official.
Student housing. I think you're supposed to be a student to actually
live in them. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that building with it's like the little racetrack right there. That building looks sweet. Like
it's brand.
I wish I had that when I was in college. Yeah.
Oh, there are so many things about Georgia State now that I wish existed when I was in college, like Georgia State Stadium and Aspen Heights apartment. Like I would totally I would want to be in Aspen Heights apartments if I could be, or anything that's gonna be on over there. But
that's what I was trying to explain to him. I'm like, you can come have dinner with me literally any night you want, and also like there's bars right there and restaurants right there, and Piedmont Central is where he was saying, which I think is where the racetrack is.
Is your brother
okay? Cool.
Brother a drinker?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Have you met him before?
He's not at my grandpa's house. So, but I guess probably not because I am at my grandpa's house. And we all are. Like all the adults are drinking.
He's not 21 yet though, so maybe he's trying to play it safe, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really drink till I was 21. So
I think I drank more when I was 20 and when I was 22 than I do. 21 was kind of like I was so excited about it, but it just wasn't a thing. But I drank a lot when I was 20 and a lot more when 22 and up to 42 has just been an upward. Like I would have rivaled it stock market over the past 3 years up till this whole crap thing.
I like hated beer from like 21 to 23.
I wasn't a fan of beer because the first beer I drank was like some more crappy Busch Light in Arkansas with my family. But like the first time I drank beer to drink beer was warm Red Dog.
Oh.
Yeah. So I didn't drink beer for a while.
Nice.
And then liquor I had was tequila and room temperature orange juice.
Man, I went through a phase where I drank a lot of like cold Jaeger, you know?
Yeah.
I still love it.
First thing I ever had in college was disgusting Goldschlager, but chilled.
I feel like my college years, my drinking college years, were the drink of choice, the shot of choice was either Goldschlager or Jägermeister.
Yeah, Jaeger was very popular.
Today it's been
Goldschlager
with a Fireball, and I'm like, where was Fireball back in the 90s? Like, I would have much rather drank Fireball than Goldschlager or Jägermeister. That's
well, when I went out to like shows and stuff, it was always like, give me a can of PBR and a shot of whatever your well whiskey is. So I just drank whatever like the cheapest whiskey on the tap was.
Just to get there a little bit faster because the PBR wouldn't do it for you.
Well, no, I mean it just felt like the right amount of trashy, you know.
Well, there was also
it's a good starter.
There was a lot. I think the Earl down the. I'm pointing like because it's not too far away.
It's right over there. Right.
The Earl, not based off the background at all, but the Earl, like one of their things is like a tall boy of PBR and a Jägermeister shot for like 75 cents or something. That's like
yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculously cheap.
Cold Jaeger is delicious. I don't care what anybody says. I love cold Jaeger.
Oh, cold Jaeger is better than warm Jaeger, but it's not delicious.
Well, warm Jaeger's gross, so.
That's not Fireball. Fireball's so much better.
No, cold Jaeger is better than any temperature Fireball.
No, Fireball wins out.
Fireball is just sugar. It's just like cinnamon sugar.
But it's not. Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's fine if you like it.
Black licorice is horrible. Do you eat black licorice for fun?
Yeah, no, I hate it. I don't understand why I like Jaeger, but I do. I enjoy Jaeger.
Okay, you're weird. No one likes you.
I am weird, and some people like me.
It's a step up from Goldschlager.
If you put Goldschlager more like minty, isn't it more like a Rumpelminze, or is that like?
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you put Goldschlager and Jaeger in front of me, I'm going Jaeger all day long.
Yeah. I don't like mint.
It's not a question.
Sugary liquor. I don't want that.
How about tequila?
No, I vomit every time.
Jaeger.
Literally every time I vomit a little bit in my mouth.
I would probably do a shot of Jaeger before I do a shot of tequila, and I would
hate tequila.
I mean, I will do a margarita here and there, but tequila, no.
I like Long Island iced tea is okay, but I can still even though they have all that alcohol in it, I can still like sort of taste the tequila. I can be like, there's tequila in this, and I don't like that part of this, but it's still delicious.
All right, John Weaver is our anti-us. He likes black licorice and +1 on the Jaeger. Well, I know we need to keep in stock at the tailgates now for John whenever he stops by.
Yeah, but he spelled it more like we're having fighting robots.
We should have fighting robots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Robots. I need more fighting robots in my life. Becker.
Where are we at, man? Yeah, put this train back on the tracks.
Wait, Georgia State. What are we talking about?
Facilities like the rec centers and libraries and all that kind of stuff is going to be open. They're going to have social distancing, but like, how are they going to? I don't know how they're going to police it. Are they actually going to have like campus security being like, "I'm sorry, you guys are 3 feet apart, not 6 feet apart," and like they said only 4 people allowed on an elevator at a time. Are you going to have somebody like standing in front of every elevator,
waiting to get a spot?
Yeah, I was a big stairs person on campus. Like
me too.
I didn't like being in those elevators. I don't know if it was the elevators themselves or just my classmates in general. And I say classmates, I mean just the general population.
People. I got stuck in an elevator when I was a freshman and just like took the stairs from then on out in the library.
There was the only time I remember actually taking this elevators regularly was in the old general classroom building. I don't know what it's called now. It's named after somebody.
Langdale.
Langdale. Yeah.
Get there. I didn't know how to get to the bottom levels. I had a speech class or a speaking course that was the basement bottom, like the bowels of the general classroom building. I didn't know how to get there from the stairs because I don't think it was the same stairwells. So I took the elevators. That's the only way I knew how to get there. I had no idea how to get there otherwise.
You could just go down the main stairs to the bottom level.
Can you? I don't know if you could.
Yeah. Well,
didn't have anything
you
down
went to
there.
a different place that I had never been to.
Maybe, yeah, it was the bowels of general. I didn't even know it was there until my class.
Was it where the deli is? Like where the
general classroom?
Yeah, there in the basement of GCB. There was
deli. All right. Well, you went to school a couple of years after me. Maybe they added a deli. I don't remember a deli.
Or was that Kel? I might be Kel.
That was Cal. Yeah.
Right. My bad.
Subway at Kel. No, there was like a post.
Subway Cal.
And there was a office down there too.
There was, but it wasn't a Subway when I was there. I think it had changed, but it was still like a shop.
All right, cool.
Anyway, it's destroyed now. Who cares?
It's gone now. It could be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. Again, another thing that I wish was going on while I was in school.
We're probably good for last call, right? I mean, we're an hour in.
No, I've got a big topic left.
But I gotta go to the bathroom again.
All right, we can take a little pause here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pause the recording, and then we'll go stay live a little while. And
it'll just be weird. Thanks to all our fans.
Yep. All right. So yeah, the next topic I wanted to get into was it's another week, so there's another article about the necessity of Sunbelt, Conference USA realignment, merger, something or another. So I really wasn't going to dive into it because it's kind of absurd and everything, but I read there was like 2 or 3 articles I think that came out this week, and I kind of wanted to get into it a little bit. So originally it was basically Conference USA East and Sunbelt East merging, and Conference USA West and Sunbelt West merging. But I'm thinking Sunbelt has the upper hand here. Like, we are the better revenue on everything, right?
You just sound like me 5 seconds ago.
Well, yeah, but you were saying things that I was prepared to say ahead of time.
Okay.
So we're in control of this whole thing. We don't need to break apart and merge into other 2 different conferences. We could just pick up the schools we want and become a little bit slightly larger conference, and still tighten the geography on the whole thing. So here's my idea, and I've read a few things, I've seen things. This is not my idea specifically, just me, but I've seen things and I like the idea. We pick up UAB, Marshall, Southern Miss, and drop Texas State.
I'm in. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it tightens up the footprint, and Texas schools don't make a lot of sense. The Texas schools have a lot of incentive to just create their own conference anyway. I think they should do it.
And Conference USA is already overloaded on the number of members. So we take an odd number away from them and we lose an odd number too. Texas State can go and join Conference USA and all the Texas schools. It's a win for them to move.
We're helping them help us.
And then, so it helps us. It helps them. Yeah, John, I agree. ULM should just drop football altogether. Not even just get dropped out of the conference. It should just drop.
Hold on. They might do it anyway. We'll see.
Duck Dynasty might not be happy about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, Duck Dynasty got their own money to do what they want. But I think that works out really well for us because we finally bring in some schools that people have some. I mean, they're not huge schools as far as program-wise, but Marshall has a storied history. They got a movie made about them. UAB is on top of everybody's tongue from everything that they went through, and Southern Miss got Brett Favre money. So
Wait, Marshall's in Texas though, right?
What is
Marshall?
They're like West Virginia.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. My bad. Never mind.
That's when the plane crashed because like the plane was like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, where is West Virginia even? That doesn't make any sense.
It's west of Virginia.
Oh, I got it now.
Ah.
Yeah. So I think that would be the power play that Sunbelt should do. If they do anything at all, they should add those 3 programs and drop Texas State.
How would that change the conference alignment, the divisions?
Well,
Do you have divisions?
so I guess you'd have to put Southern Miss and UAB on the west and Marshall on the east. So again, there's nothing that's ever been proposed that has UAB and Georgia State in the same conference or same division. But
It's a shame.
Well, at some point you could do a north-south though, right? Instead of an east-west.
I don't think that layout would be.
Yeah. No, but it's weird because we're like a curve though, so it's like nothing makes a ton of sense.
We could find a way to make it happen as far as playing them, but I think that would be a cool way to approach things, because Conference USA is so big and so bloated with members and so little money going on. If we try to like do something, the chances are we're getting less money than we're already getting.
Are they?
Right.
They're 14 schools, right?
I think they're like 37. That's
30,
like, it's ridiculous how many schools they have.
37 and a half.
Yeah.
Is it 14 or 13?
I don't know. Who cares? Nobody cares about this.
There's too many. And,
My bad for
you know.
introducing the question.
Yeah. So the that's just kind of funny. The Lafayette ULA's AD was interviewed on something, and I thought it was funny on Twitter. Someone was like, finally an AD of one of the programs is coming out and talking about this being a possibility. And not only that, it's a Sunbelt school and University of Lafayette. I'm like, wait, all of a sudden Lafayette is the premier program out of these 2 conferences? Like,
No.
no, thank you. Like, who gives a crap about Lafayette anywhere? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they've been good in football at the Sun Belt level. They've been good in basketball at the Sun Belt level. But no one gives a crap about Lafayette. And this is not even me using my Louisiana hatred. They're not a premier program to be talking anything. If it was –
Maybe just a little bit.
You think so? You think that hearing from them is more important than hearing from Marshall? Or
No, I'm saying like them being in Louisiana also adds to your disdain for them.
I don't think that any school in the Sun Belt really carries any more weight than any school in the Conference USA. I don't.
App State, maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe but are they drawing the TV money or anything like that at all? I mean, not that, and I'm not saying that Georgia State does.
No. I mean, you very clearly were saying that Georgia State is in that group of people not doing this.
No, they're not there.
App's winning the games, right? App State's winning the games. I mean, they're doing that part, and they got seats.
If App State can remain consistent, which they have for a number of years now, I mean, they're really growing something there. So
they are. They're doing something great, but I don't think that this idea being talked about by Louisiana, like literally what is being said here is we don't know what the hell is going on. We can't afford anything, so we need to have these regional rivalries for us to succeed. That's what Lafayette's saying. Which
yeah.
Let them crash and burn.
It would be curious what all the other ADs and presidents of the conference are saying or thinking about this. I can't imagine there's much consensus on it, honestly. I bet you there's a lot of different opinions on what to do.
Yeah, because it depends on where you are, and what schools you want to keep affiliate with you. So one of my problems with all this talk is there are a lot of scenarios where whatever conference or whatever division that Georgia State ends up being in is elevated from where we are now. But all of those include a majority, if not all, of the Sun Belt programs. And I don't want Georgia State to be elevated along with all these craptastic schools. I want Georgia State to be elevated on their own and let everybody else piddle and die and go away.
Yeah, we're in such a unique position, right? We want to find the schools that are peer institutions, but at the same time, it's like our athletics program obviously isn't there yet. We have a lot of facilities building to get done. We have a lot of butts to put in the seats and winning to do. And once we do all that, I think we're a really attractive option for moving up. It's as simple as that. I mean,
well, the problem is right now is we're not even talking about moving up. We're talking about just a reorganization. And if we reorganize into 2 or even 3 conferences that all 3 are better than the 2 they're coming from, well, that's great for everybody, but that's the problem. It's great for everybody. I don't want things to be great for everybody. I want things to be great for Georgia State. I want us to be the one that are winning out here. And
Well,
every
wait, if it's great for everybody, it's great for Georgia State, though, right?
no, but I don't want things to be great for Georgia Southern.
Well, we are in everybody.
Every scenario that has us still in a conference with Georgia Southern. I don't want to. I'm not saying we should be playing Georgia Southern every year. What I'm saying is I don't want us to bring them along with us. I don't want us to make them better. To make them worse because they suck.
I don't really know if any of the conferences proposed though make anything better. I feel like where we're at's fine. Just stay.
All right.
No hits. Just stay.
Yeah,
it's gonna bust.
So that's why I say, like, you know, the big reorg type stuff doesn't make any sense for the conference. And if they're gonna do it, they need to have TV contracts negotiated ahead of time. Because you can't make this kind of change and then be like, all right, let's go to ESPN and whoever else wants money. Now, you got to negotiate it ahead of time and figure out what's going to be the best scenario.
It's like a kid making some drawing and bringing it home. And the parents like, that's great. And they put it up on the fridge and they're like, oh my God, what's wrong with my kid? You know, that's ESPN. ESPN's like, great, what did you do? I don't want to give you any money anymore.
No.
You know?
Go along with your analogy. That's a kid coming home and saying, hey, mommy, look what I made. Can I put this on the fridge? And they're like, downstairs.
In Las Vegas.
Damn.
So, yeah. Yeah, you guys, that's all I got about the merger.
Wow.
I guess.
No merger.
Yeah, weird.
Well, yeah. So the one of the funny things I saw about it was everyone seems so positive about it on message boards. Like they have like their take about it. I mean, both Sunbelt and Conference USA seem incredibly positive about it, which means it won't happen. Ben, on the other hand, is kind of like laughing at everybody like night and day. Like, you know, you're ridiculous. It's never happening, which it won't. It's not happening this season at all. But I don't know. One other thing I had, I think, before calling it quits. Yeah. The Sunbelt posted Athlon Sports ranked the head coaches in football for the Sunbelt Conference. And
number 1, right? We're number 1?
Out of the bottom 5, yeah.
Nice.
Number 1 out of the bottom 5.
All right, I'll take it.
Actually, sorry, we're last place in the top 5. We're first place in the bottom 6.
Oh yeah, no, I'll take that. The last one you said, yeah, first place in the bottom 6.
State comes in 5th, just behind Georgia Southern at 4th, which is like, I think that's just the story of our lives. We're like literally like mediocre with Southern being ranked just ahead of us.
Yeah,
or just behind us sometimes. Right?
Well, they built that roller coaster, right?
What was that, Ryan?
It was a Six Flags joke. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that was a pretty good one.
It was a stretch. I was trying something out.
A call back to when I said that oh, what a crap. What did I say? I forgot.
Oh, boy. You just tried to call it back and then could not call it back.
What did you say?
What did I say?
You might be ready for last call.
It's looking like it. Man, what did I say? Talk amongst yourselves.
Goodness gracious, man. I made the womp womp joke.
Was that Sam?
We're the top 3, David. Who came out on top on the coaches poll?
Number 1, Ooh La La. 2, Arky State. 3 was the head coach of ULM. I'm not using names because nobody knows the head coach's name.
No, wait. Who's the head coach of Ooh La La at this point? I forget.
Billy Napier. I only know that I wrote it down. I don't know. I would not have been able to name any of these head coaches' names at all, whether I was sober or not. But the third one was Monroe's head coach was listed as their third place. And the little description they had was weird to me because they talk about how like they had 2018 they were 6-6, and 2019 they were 5-7. Their record is so impressive. I'm like 19-29, and then Sean Elliott's is 16-21, but 2 bowl appearances. I don't know.
Yeah, but so it's 16-21 at Georgia State, right?
Right. So, but they're talking about they were saying how horrible Monroe has been historically, but they had 2 substandard seasons. They had a 6-6 and a 5-7 season. So they must be doing really good there because they are historically bad. Well, we're historically bad, but we've been to 2 bowl games in 3 years. Like Sean Elliott's
We're like not historically anything, which is maybe the point.
Right.
Which is good, right? I mean, that's good for us. Like people try to put us into the historically bad pot, whatever.
Oh, here we go. That's
bucket.
right. Well,
We're not.
here's my point that I had, and stop talking. Sorry, I don't forget it.
Yep.
So teams are talking about like the history behind everything, and so when you look at the Georgia Southern and the App State like getting all these accolades, they always include those FCS accomplishments. Like I think Tim, I saw you comment on a Twitter post about something.
Oh yeah.
These big wins, and someone's like, well, what about a Southern's win over Florida? I'm like, yeah, that was accomplishment. 1, it was a crappy Florida team, probably the worst Florida team ever. But 2,
There's that hilarious GIF of
blocking each other. But
them blocking themselves.
They keep on giving these FBS teams credit for FCS accomplishments. Your FCS accomplishments mean absolutely nothing. Yeah, that was a great game. It's a great win for the program. Good for you guys. You start talking about FBS accomplishments, you cannot include FCS games.
Right. Well, I think my thing with that tweet was they were going over Sunbelt FBS wins against P5. And then they're like, what about the Southern win? I'm like, that happened when you're in that other division. Like, It's still impressive.
It's not a Sunbelt win.
It's not as impressive because Florida did suck that year greatly, but it's still impressive that an FCS team beat a P5 team. I get it. Same thing with App, right? Being Michigan, very impressive. But don't include it on Sunbelt teams.
Well,
FBS
much
wins
more
over,
impressive too, right? Because it wasn't.
because Michigan was
Michigan
good.
team. It was a ranked Michigan team.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but they didn't even include Coastal's win over Kansas last year in that, and that's
right.
I'm upset. I mean, it's Kansas, but
that's what you should have counted was last year's unprecedented number of Sunbelt teams who beat P5 teams.
Yeah. So anyhow,
it happened left and right last year. I mean, like we did it. Right. Coastal did it.
Coastal did it.
App State beat
App State did it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat 2 P5 teams
in their region.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's all I got.
Anyway, yeah.
Well,
I feel like it's enough. We've been going for almost an hour and a half. So
I have an idea if you guys want to do it. I say we keep streaming on Last Call and do that live right now.
That's fine.
Take a break.
Sure.
Come back and keep it going. Does that work for
you? All right.
I'm cool with that. If John's cool with that. Yep. Oh, wait. Mac is on.
Yeah. Hey, Mac.
Perfect timing.
What up, Mac?
If I'm on your balcony, then it's way too bright outside right now, man.
Yeah. Let's do Last Call and we can shoot the shit with Mac.
Yep. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and sign us off here. Stop the recording. We'll take a break and come back. The live stream will keep going the entire time. So anyhow, thank you everybody for listening, watching, and we are going to head this off to Last Call. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Tim. Thanks all the watchers, listeners. For the Last Call feed, it'll be on Patreon, patreon.com/State of Atlanta on Friday, immediately to everybody that's a Patreon member. Thanks everybody, and go Panthers.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.